afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, hundreds are dead as Israel targets more than 1,000 Hezbollah sites in Lebanon. Alice Go and other POGO-linked individuals return for what could be the Senate's last hearing on the POGO fiasco. Former Duterte spokesperson Roque now faces a disbarment case. And Prince Harry walks in his mother's footsteps as he attends an anti-landmine event in New York. Thank you for joining us. Lebanon sees one of the deadliest days of the war between Israel and Hezbollah. Beirut's health ministry says 492 people died and 1,645 were wounded after the Israeli army launched a massive attack on Hezbollah targets. The latest on the Middle East crisis from Eugene Adalia.
With the crisis in Lebanon escalating further, France calls for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. The French foreign minister warning a wider conflict in the Middle East would be devastating for everyone, especially civilians.
We provided advance warning to civilians in specific villages in Lebanon where Hezbollah embedded its military assets and weapons and warned them to move out of harm's way. However, even as we called on civilians to move away from danger, we saw that Hezbollah operatives were doing the opposite and acted to prevent civilian moving safety. This is because Hezbollah uses civilian population and civilian homes as a human shield for its terrorist activities.
Israel on Monday struck more than 1,000 Hezbollah targets across Lebanon, leaving hundreds dead and sending tens of thousands fleeing for safety.
We're leaving as well because we were caught in that barrage of exchange of rockets between Hezbollah and Israel. A lot of people who are leaving the area right now, a lot of people that are going away are very much concerned that this could turn out to be not only a regional conflict, but something larger than that.
Israel says the airstrikes in Beirut also killed Ali Karaki, a senior Hezbollah commander. But his fate remains unclear after Hezbollah claimed Karaki is safe. Hezbollah also firing over 150 rockets toward Israel in response to the airstrikes. Eugene Adalia, BNC.
More Filipinos now wish to leave war-torn Lebanon. Our embassy there says it is ready to assist those who wish to be repatriated. There are around 11,000 Filipinos in Lebanon, but so far, only more than 500 have returned home.
Tuloy-tuloy yung mga pagpunta ng ating mga kababayan dito sa ating opisina para i-indicate yung kanilang pagnanais na umuwi na sa ating, bumalik na sa ating bansa.
Alice Go returns to what's expected to be the last Senate hearing on the POGO fiasco. Aside from the dismissed town mayor, her associates Cassandra Ong and Sheila Go and Tony Yang, the brother of former presidential economic advisor Michael Yang, are also among those present. Agatha Gregorio is on the scene for the latest. Agatha.
My senators were quick to question Tony Yang about his legal documents. Yang admitted he was born in China, but his grandfather helped him process his Philippine birth certificate over 2 decades ago to help with business in the country. Senator Risa Ontiveros also showed other documents belonging to Yang, listing different names like Yang Jianxin for his SIN application and Antonio Maestrado Lim for his driver's license application. Yang also denied being the head of the Philippine offshore gaming operation Auto One Corporation, despite papers showing that he is the president. Earlier in the hearing, Senator Bato de la Rosa read a statement from a group of former chiefs of the Philippine National Police to the Council of Chiefs, strongly condemning the, quote, irresponsible statement made by Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation official Raul Villanueva. Villanueva revealed in a previous hearing there's rumors within the intelligence community that a former PNP chief helped dismiss Bamban Mayor Alice Go and was on her monthly payroll. The chiefs are also demanding a public apology if the information is proven false. Mai?
Agatha, is there any development on that accusation linking a former PNP chief to Alice Go in today's hearing?
Mai Villanueva's yet to speak about that, but Ontiveros did show photos of Yang with former and present officials of the Philippine National Police. Ontiveros said she wonders what high officials are doing, quote, fraternizing with a wanted fugitive. The officials include former PNP Chief Benjamin Acorda and former Cagayan City Police Director Aaron Amandia. Yang just said there were moments he got to meet some of these officials due to the Cagayan Business Federation. My senators continue to question resource persons at this moment. Let's listen in.
这是在华人区这边。
5个月还是6个月，反正很久了，我也记不大清楚。
Kasi nandun ho yung mga records, incorporator din po siya.
Opo, pero hindi po natuloy
Bakit po siya yung pinili yung municipal administrator ng Bamban? Gaano siya kalapit at talagang pinagkakatiwalaan niyo po siya? Kasi pagkakatiwalaan niyo po yung negosyo niyo sa kanya, sabi niya yung QJJ, yan lang talagang bread and butter po ninyo.
Madam Chair and Senador, for the question po, I refuse to answer po dahil po may ongoing cases na rin po sa akin sa Valenzuela po sa graft and corruption. And
he is a municipal administrator. Kasama ba sa tungkulin niya na mag-run ng iyong personal negosyo kagaya ng ginawa ni Kat at saka ni G nung nakaraang pagdinig na personal na yung mga nauutos mo sa kanila pero sila ay nakalista bilang empleyado ng munisipyo ng Bamban. Gawain niyo po ba talaga ito?
Madam Chair and Senador, I invoke my right against self-incrimination po.
Senator SP Pro Tempore. The question of Senator Villanueva and your supposed answer will not affect your cases. Wala hong relasyon yan. Ang tinatanong lang ni Senator Joel, bakit mo kinuha si, ano yung pangalan niya? Alexander Abrenica bilang iyong administrator at nagpapatakbo ng iyong mga negosyo? That will not affect your cases. Your pending cases. So you have to answer it, Alice.
Madam Chair, Senador, for the municipal administrator po, tumulong po siya nung nakaraan na election and doon sa businesses po, I invoke my right against self-incrimination sa mga kaso na po na isampa po sa akin.
Hindi, ang tinatanong lang si Senator Joel, bakit mo siyang pinagkakatiwalaan na magpatakbo ng mga negosyo mo? He's not going into details regarding your businesses. Tinatanong lang, bakit mo siya pinagkakatiwalaan na magpatakbo ng mga negosyo mo outside of you being the mayor of Bamban?
Sen, for the businesses po, I invoke my right against self-incrimination.
Again, I am telling you that it will not affect your pending cases before the courts. That's why you have to answer us properly. Sige na. Bakit mo siya pinagkakatiwalaan?
For the businesses po, Sen, I refuse to answer po.
Alam mo, dapat hindi go apelyido mo, Alice Sika dapat Alice Sinungaling.
Madam Chair, Guawaping, ang tinatanong lang namin, bakit mo siya kinuha? Sabi mo, kinuha mo siya bilang municipal administrator dahil tumulong siya nung halalan. Kaya mo siya kinuha. Pero nung kinuha mo siyang administrator, kinuha mo na din siya na mag-run ng iyong negosyo. So, ang tinatanong lang namin, anong relasyon niyo mo sa kanya? Bakit mo siya sobrang pinagkakatiwalaan? Kamag-anak mo ba siya? Sinagip ka ba niya sa buhay mo? May bumaril sa'yo at hinarang niya yung katawan niya. Ganun mo siya pinagkakatiwalaan buong buhay mo. So, we just wanted to find out.
The Senate hearing on the POGO fiasco continues there with Alice Go, the dismissed Bamban Tarlac mayor, being grilled by lawmakers. She is still refusing to answer questions of senators. Alice Go, of course, is facing charges for graft, qualified human trafficking, money laundering, and tax evasion. In the meantime, we turn to other stories today as former presidential spokesperson Attorney Harry Roque now faces a disbarment case. Former Cabinet Secretary Melvin Matibag filed the complaint at the Supreme Court, citing alleged malicious posts by Roque against President Bongbong Marcos. Matibag argues this violates the Code of Professional Responsibility and Accountability of Lawyers. On BNC's At the Forefront, Matibag also slammed Roque over his supposed ties to POGOs. He said he had no idea about Roque's alleged activities during their time in the Duterte administration. As to whether their former boss, President Rodrigo Duterte, benefited from POGOs, here's what Matibag had to say.
Cannot make an assumption to that, but of course, it should be supported by pieces of evidence before we can draw that conclusion. Pero siyempre, maraming mag-iisip na by legalizing it, somehow there's benefit also because of what's happening right now. And there's so much money involved with the POGO operation.
The printing of ballots for next year's midterm polls will begin in December. Earlier today, Comelec officials inspected the printing machines that will be used at the National Printing Office in Quezon City. Hannah T is on the scene for the details. Hannah.
My two ballot printers, valued at 300 million pesos each, were inspected earlier today by the Commission on Elections. These are the first of their kind in Asia and will be used to print the ballots for the 2025 midterm elections. These HP machines have a production capacity of 62 million pages per month. Since each ballot will be precinct-specific, around 1 million ballots are targeted for daily production, and these printers will run almost 24/7. The printing will begin in December and is projected to finish by March. The formal turnover of the machines is scheduled for October 25, with test ballot printing to follow. Training for the National Printing Office and Comelec staff will take place from September 30 to October 30. In previous elections, Comelec operated with 4 machines, but these new units are expected to improve both speed and efficiency in the printing process. Aside from election news, HP says the printers can also be utilized for printing books and magazines, and Comelec Chairman George Garcia suggested these could be used for voter education purposes. We just arrived here at the Manila Hotel for another inspection of the Comelec. This is the venue for the filing of candidacy for senatorial positions, as well as party lists. For the filing of candidacy, Comelec will soon provide its complete list of locations in its official website. Mai?
Hannah, 1 million ballots per day sounds like a tight schedule. What happens if the machines break down?
Yes, my HP representatives assured that these printers are highly reliable with minimal human intervention, reducing mechanical failure. But should there be any unexpected problem, 90% of the spare parts are readily available on site, and the printers of the National Printing Office can also be used as backup. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Hannah T, reporting from Manila. Coming up, former U.S. President Donald Trump will no longer run in 2028 if he loses to Kamala Harris in November. This and other stories when Newsfeed at Noon returns. Stay with BNC.
This is the scorecard where you score the latest news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Rojas, and this is tonight's roundup. On the scorecard tonight, feel like you're somebody who has that desire. Tell us about your experience. Get ready for a thrilling clash, thrilling hostilities, and keep your eyes on the prize. Sports is our business, and business is our sport. This has been the scorecard.
10 p.m. on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Your newest source of news and information.
That's it?
Follows you everywhere, every day.
Wow.
Oh, man.
On cable and free TV. Online.
He joins us from the Batasan Comelec.
On mobile.
Simulan na natin ang agenda.
This is BNC, and we are everywhere.
We're back. You're still on Newsfeed at noon. Tensions in the West Philippine Sea reaching the skies over the disputed Scarborough Shoal. That's after a Chinese helicopter flew dangerously close to an aircraft of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources patrolling the area. Philippine officials denouncing the incident as yet another aggressive action by Beijing. Aside from the helicopter, a Chinese Coast Guard vessel and several Chinese maritime militias were also spotted near Scarborough Shoal. The cause of the Titan submersible's implosion may remain a mystery. That admission coming from OceanGate co-founder Guillermo Sonline as the U.S. Coast Guard continues its inquiry into the tragedy. He says despite intensive efforts by their team to determine details of the disaster, many of their questions are still unanswered.
As I think back through everything that's happened over the last year, this was not supposed to happen, right? This shouldn't have happened. 5 people should not have lost their lives. 4 families should not be mourning their loved ones. And I don't know what happened. I don't know who made what decision when and based on what information. And honestly, I don't know if any of us will ever know this, despite all of your team's investigative efforts. I don't know if we'll ever know the answers to all of this.
The Titan imploded while diving into the Titanic wreck last year, killing all 5 people on board. It raised questions about the unregulated nature of such expeditions. Among those who died, British billionaire Hamish Harding. Former U.S. President Donald Trump ruling out gunning for the White House again in 2028. That is, if he loses in November. It's not the first time Trump made such a comment. Back in 2020, he also said he won't run for president again if he loses to Joe Biden.
If you're not successful this time, do you see yourself running again in 4 years?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I think that will be it. I don't see that at all. I think that hopefully we're going to be successful.
This year's elections is already Trump's 3rd consecutive bid for the White House, and he faces a tight race against U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, Donald Trump makes an impromptu visit to a local grocery store in the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania. There, Trump spoke to workers, pinning the blame on Kamala Harris for elevated inflation. A recent poll showed a close race in Pennsylvania, but so far, Harris has maintained a 4-point lead over Trump, 50-46.
Kamala cast a tie-breaking vote on so many different things that have been so bad for our nation. It caused record inflation. Her votes cost us record inflation. She won't do an interview because one of 2 reasons. One reason is she's not very smart. The other reason is she doesn't know how to talk about inflation. But they caused inflation at a number that nobody can believe. We've never seen numbers like this.
Princess Diana sure is smiling up from heaven. Prince Harry is bringing attention to landmine awareness, an advocacy his mother once had. The Duke of Sussex attended an event in New York highlighting Angola's leadership in championing landmine clearance and conservation. The event was hosted by Halo Trust, a humanitarian organization which Princess Diana also brought international attention to.
As you know, the Halo Trust work in Angola meant a great deal to my mother. Carrying on her legacy is a responsibility that I take incredibly seriously. And I think we all know how much she'd want us to finish this particular job. Angola, under President Lourenço's leadership, has set the gold standard for commitment and accomplishment in demining their country. This goes beyond just numbers, mines cleared and money allocated. It's about actual lives and actual progress.
SpaceX CEO Elon Musk outlines his ambitious goal of sending missions to Mars. The tech billionaire plans to launch about 5 uncrewed Starship missions to the Red Planet in 2 years. If those land safely, crewed missions will be launched in 4 years. Musk says one of his biggest concerns is that the Starship is being smothered by what he calls a mountain of government bureaucracy. Musk also sees that bureaucracy growing under a Democratic Party administration. This, he claims, would destroy the Mars program and doom humanity. India is committed to the ethical and responsible use of AI. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi made those remarks during a meeting with leaders of tech giants in New York. He also said India is fully prepared for more tech investments.
We are robustly investing in AI in India, and we look forward to doing more.
We clearly appreciate the effort from the Prime Minister to learn and understand what we need to continue to expand in India. And we just announced that we are expanding our manufacturing capabilities in India.
Speaking of AI, a member of the K-pop boy band SHINee has dropped the music video for the title track of his third mini-album, Pleasure Shop. And a lot of scenes have images generated by AI, including Key himself turning into a cyborg. Key says he doesn't see any problem using AI as long as it does not get abused. American singer-songwriter Ari Left, also known as Lauv, collaborated on the new album, co-writing the music and English lyrics to the song Novocaine. Denim giant Levi Strauss teases a potential collaboration with music superstar Beyoncé. On Instagram, Levi's posted an image of a woman wearing a cowboy hat and riding a horse, an apparent reference to Beyoncé's latest album. That album, titled Cowboy Carter, was released earlier this year and features a song called Levi's Jeans. The possible team-up comes as Levi's second quarter earnings miss Wall Street expectations despite the recent return of the denim trend. Up next, we take you to the French Alps for the world's first ride and fly. More on that spectacular stunt when we come back. Keep it here on BNC.
A platter of positivity.
Good morning, you beautiful people. It's a brand new day, and you know what that means.
A cup of the hottest information.
And we're ready to shake the world with fresh news.
And a slice of what to expect for the whole day.
The Vermonts are here, and they're bringing the heat.
That's everything you need to keep you going through the day. Join Paulo Del Rosario, Ann Carrillo, and Monique Tuzon. It's a beautiful day, 7 a.m. on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Weekdays on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.
We're back. You're still on Newsfeed at noon. An ordinary hangar by the sea in the French city of Marseille houses an extraordinary vessel. The Saga, the legendary submarine designed by Captain Cousteau in the 1960s, has come back to life after years of abandonment. As part of French Heritage Days, the association in charge of the Saga's upkeep is allowing the public to marvel at the largest civilian submarine in the world. It's yellow, of course, the shade visible for the longest time when colors disappear in very deep waters. The Saga sailed from 1988 to 1990, but was abandoned for 20 years. Its restoration began in 2010. From the big yellow submarine to the world's first ride and fly in the French Alps, French athlete Tom Pages combines motocross and paragliding for this spectacular stunt. He starts by riding his bike down a steep hill, takes flight, then soars down the mountain with speeds of nearly 100 kph. The 5-time X Games gold medalist says Ride and Fly took more than 2 years to complete, from developing the equipment to training and execution. An exceptionally rare diamond necklace from the 18th century is displayed at Sotheby's in London before going under the hammer in Geneva in November. Made from around 500 diamonds, the necklace is estimated to fetch between $1.8 and $2.8 million. Little is known about the piece, including who designed it and for whom it was commissioned, but the auction house believes such an impressive work could have only been created for a royal family. Before we go, high tides are not a problem for a London pub sitting on the bank of the River Thames. The pub doesn't close its doors even when the water gets in, still serving drinks in a flooded beer garden. And the guests don't even mind. Waiters on Wellington serve the pints, and customers either kick their shoes off or wear a pair of boots themselves.
I think it was really cool. I'm not going to lie. We came here not necessarily on a whim. We found it through word of mouth, and it was quite nice. You feel like you're marooned on an island with 2 bottles of wine, which is quite special.
It's a great experience just to sit at a pub and the tide comes in. And what else can you do if you're going to be late home to your wife and you say the tide come in? I didn't want to get my new shoes wet.
And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Good afternoon.
Surviving the day starts with knowing the weather. So we're giving you everything you need to know to stay safe, rain or shine.
Tropical storm Enteng already out in the Philippine area of our responsibility. The death toll due to severe tropical storm Enteng and the enhanced southwest monsoon in Antipolo City has risen to 8.
Weather HQ with Paulo Del Rosario, 9 a.m.